Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Prof Choice Food channel. If you're new to this channel, you're welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to hit the notification bell below so you can be notified when I post new videos. And to my loyal subscribers, hello. So today we'll be cooking a Nigerian dish, a delicious Nigerian dish. So this is an overview of all the ingredients I'm going to need. I'm just showing you guys a group video before I show you individually what I'm going to need. So we're going to need short grain rice. I washed this with hot water. The rice. And then we're going to need fresh tomatoes, fresh pepper, onions, and bell pepper. We're going to blend these together. But I'm showing you guys the bell pepper. Usually when I use it with the seed, I don't like the taste, so I took out the seeds before blending it. So I'm going to blend those items in that plate together. And then I'm going to need sliced onions. And then tomato paste. So you can use 2 containers. The small ones. Then we're going to need blended crayfish, ground crayfish, and then dry fish, deboned. I thoroughly washed it. You can use meat or any seafood of your choice, but I'm using fish today. Then in this plate I have salt and bouillon seasoning. Then in this plate I have bay leaf, dehydrated white onions, ground coriander, fennel, and clove blended together, turmeric, cinnamon. Those are the items I have on this plate. We're going to need those just for taste. And then we're going to need vegetable oil. So I'm just showing you an overview of the items again. So I already have a list of the ingredients, before the video started, so you can go look through it. This is just an overview. So we're going to blend the tomato, the pepper, the bell pepper, and the onions together. So I already blended it. I put it in a pot. We're going to boil it on low heat for 5 minutes. So this is the blended tomato, pepper, bell pepper, and onions mixture. We're going to boil it on low heat for 5 minutes. Stir it occasionally to prevent burning. So this is 5 minutes later. We see, you see the water has dried up. So that's to show that we can proceed to the next step. So now let's prepare the sauce, the jollof sauce. Set the tomato sauce aside. So in a hot pot, put vegetable oil. When it's hot, put the bay leaf. I'm using 1 bay leaf today, and then stir and allow to cook for 1 minute. And then 1 minute later, put your sliced onions, and then stir with your spatula for 2 minutes on medium heat. Medium heat, guys. So about 2 minutes later, this is about 2 minutes later of stirring it, from time to time so it doesn't burn. Go check out my other videos, guys. Thank you for watching so far. I have other videos in English and Pidgin English, and also in Pidgin. So at this time, we're going to put the tomato paste. Remember, this tomato is not the one we boiled. We're going to put that one later. This is just tomato paste from the can. That's what we just put in there. So stir it. We're going to cook the tomato paste for 5 minutes with the bay leaf and the onions and the vegetable oil. So stirring it occasionally to avoid burning. So low heat for 5 minutes. Remember, we cooked the onions for 2 minutes on medium heat. But now the tomato paste, we're going to cook it on low heat for 5 minutes. That's because the tomato paste gets burned easily. So that's why we reduce the heat, so it can have enough time to cook before it acts like it wants to burn. So I close the pot. You can choose not to, but I prefer to close my pot when I cook it for 5 minutes, the tomato paste. So right now we're putting the tomato that we boiled earlier. Remember, we had blended the tomato, the bell pepper, the pepper, and the onions, and then we boiled it for about 5 minutes and we set it aside. So now we just put that tomato that we boiled and set aside into the pot. We're going to cook it on low heat for 5 minutes together. So see how I stirred it? So how would you know that your mixture is okay? So when you see the oil come on top, that's when you know that it has cooked well. For after about 5 minutes on low heat, when you open the pot, you should see the oil on top of the sauce. Then you know it's okay. So you see I'm just stirring it to see if it's okay. So far so good. It's looking good so far. So now I just put my salt. I'm going to put my bouillon seasoning. Just enough to taste, you know, not all, you don't have to put too much. So now go ahead and stir in the salt and the bouillon seasoning that you just put in there. So go ahead and see, I'm just showing you guys my consistency. So you see that the sauce is well done because it has formed like a pasta sauce or like a stew. But remember, we're cooking jollof today. So you see how the oil is on top of the sauce, like I was telling you guys earlier. That's how you know it's done. It's ready to proceed to the next step. So I'm just stirring it to get the corners, you know, before we move on to the next step. So the sauce is ready. We're going to set the sauce aside and move on to preparing the chicken stock. I said chicken stock, sorry, the fish stock for the jollof. So in a dry pot, put 1.5 cup of water, and then put your fish. Remember, you can use meat, you can use shrimp, you can use any seafood of your choice. So I just put the fish in there, and then I'm going to put the spices, all my spices in there. Remember, the spices in there is coriander, white onions, fenugreek and clove blended together, turmeric, cinnamon, like I showed it earlier in the beginning of the video. And now I just added salt and bouillon seasoning, just enough for taste, you know. That's just all. So go ahead and stir that in. So the pot that we're using for this to prepare this stock, this fish stock, it should be big enough to house the jollof. So I just put in the crayfish now. So the pot should be big enough for your jollof rice, you know, so you don't have to transfer it into a new pot. So far I've put in the, I'm just repeating it, dehydrated onions, ground coriander, fenugreek and clove that I blended together, turmeric, cinnamon, no vegetable oil yet. And then I put salt, bouillon seasoning, and crayfish. So that's what I have boiling in here. So I'm going to boil it for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. Allow it to boil very well. So about 5 minutes later, I'm putting in some of the sauce that we boiled earlier. So you want to put about 3/3 of the sauce you made into the fish stock, or into the stock, whichever protein you used. So don't put all your sauce. You're going to need a fourth of it later. So put 3/4 of the sauce into the stock, like you just saw in the video. And now we're going, after stirring it, we're going to put your rice, your washed rice. This rice is not parboiled. I just washed it with hot water. So put your rice in, and then use your spatula to slowly, just, you know, you don't want to stir it like you're cooking soup. You just want to see how I'm using the spatula to just like press the rice in, the white rice in, just enough for it to go under the sauce, the stock and sauce mixed together. So how will you know your water is okay? So you see how the water is just above the rice by just a little bit. You can still see parts. You can still see parts of the rice. That's enough water. Don't put too much water. Just for the water to swallow the rice, just a little bit, and that's enough. So you're going to allow that to boil until the water goes down. From time to time, on low heat. Low to medium heat, that's where you're going to cook it. So I checked the rice. It wasn't enough after the water boiled down, so I put a little bit of more water, and you're going to repeat the process until your rice is soft. But usually after the second water, it should be enough. And then now you see from, if you can see on the right corner, you see that there's still some water left in the pan. I'm just now including my extra sauce into the rice to allow it boil together. So just go ahead and spread the sauce on top of the jollof. Spread it like that, like you see in the video. Remember, this is a fourth of the sauce that we remained earlier. So after you put the rice, the white rice, into the sauce, it should take about 25 to 30 minutes for it to boil down, depending on how much quantity of rice you're cooking. So I've allowed it to boil for another 5 minutes. You see how I opened it to check it. There's still water in the pot, as you can see in the left-hand corner. But I'm just, making sure it's still cooking well, just stirring it on top. So now this is a few minutes later. The water has dried, so now I can stir it well. So I'm stirring, trying to get the bottom, to make sure the sauce is all over. So remember, taste it to see if it's soft enough, to check for softness. If it's not soft enough, add a little water, not a lot, just add a little at a time until you get to the softness you want. And that is it, guys. This is the Prof Choice way of making jollof. Try this recipe and let me know what you think in the comment section. So this is it. This is the final product. And I'm going to decorate it a little bit. But go watch my other videos. Love you guys. I will see you in my next video. So go check it out. Go check out my other videos. I appreciate you guys. See, look at that wonderfulness. Jollof rice. Enjoy.